with you. It is the 9th of November 2025, and we'll start across the water. We'll start across a big Atlantic Ocean, where the Republicans took a kicking in the most recent round of elections. I have to say across the ocean, because if I say Republicans here, they're going to really think, well, so it's not them Republicans, it's the Republicans across in America. They took a kicking at the local elections, with the biggest story, of course, revolving around the election of a new Lord Mayor. I think it's just Mayor, don't Lord. New Mayor of New York. Zohran Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani. Now, Mamdani was polling at only 1% only a year ago, but due to a brilliant social media campaign, he managed what seemed the impossible, and he won. He won. So this is how he characterized himself after his win.
The conventional wisdom would tell you that I am far from the perfect candidate. I am young, despite my best efforts to grow older. I am Muslim. I am a democratic socialist. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this.
Mamdani was also a very vocal opponent of Trump, especially the president's immigration policy, which sees people kidnapped, basically, off the streets across the USA by immigration and customs enforcement, or as they have infamously become known, ICE agents. They always cover their faces, cowardly bastards, you know what I mean? They cover their faces because what they're doing is diabolical. But hopefully they will be revealed in their true colours. Anyway, now Mamdani had this to say to the president after his win.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
Turn up the volume. Good boy yourself. Now, the Donald was less than amused, and he was quick out of the traps to claim that the new mayor was in fact a communist, proving like most other Americans, the president is politically illiterate. Now, you people, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by pointing out the difference between communism and socialism. Suffice to say, anyone who dares to mention socialism in the US, such as things like free healthcare, they're immediately denounced as being communists. This is a society where you have to save up to pay your insurance premiums to get any sort of health care whatsoever. Here's the thing. He said, I love Americans would work us out. The AIPAC, which of course I've talked about before, which is the lobbying group, pro-Israeli lobbying group, which has managed to buy pretty much the whole Congress and the Senate and the president, by the way, I'd suspect. Well, they've been pushing for years for more and more and more funding for Israel, which they've got. Millions upon millions of dollars have flowed from the USA into Israel and the Israeli economy to such an extent that there is free healthcare in Israel. Every citizen gets free healthcare. The Americans are that dense, they're paying for Israelis to get healthcare that they themselves cannot afford. Here's the truth, people. America is a society where democracy has morphed into government of billionaires, by billionaires and for billionaires. And Mamdani is both a breath of fresh air and an obvious threat to those billionaires. This was proved when over 26 of them, 26 billionaires poured $40 million into an anti-Mamdani campaign. Thankfully, their attempt to subvert democracy failed dismally.
A 34-year-old Democratic socialist just became New York City's next mayor. When Mamdani takes office on January 1st, he will become the highest-ranking elected Muslim official in America. But not before some of America's wealthiest people spent over $40 million trying to stop him. Zohran Mamdani defeated former Governor Andrew Cuomo on November 4th, 2025. The Associated Press called the race less than an hour after polls closed. Mamdani secured 50% of the vote, with Cuomo at 42% and Republican Curtis Sliwa at just 7%. The massive spending against Mamdani may have actually helped him win. His campaign turned the billionaire opposition into a rallying cry, framing the race as working people versus the ultra-wealthy. So, who were these billionaires? Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg led the pack, donating $9.8 million to anti-Mamdani super PACs. He gave $8.3 million before the primary and kept writing checks through October. Hedge fund manager Bill Ackman contributed $1.75 million total. He publicly called for Republican Curtis Sliwa to drop out, arguing a vote for Sliwa was a vote for Mamdani. Ackman even offered to build a gold statue of Sliwa in Times Square if he'd quit the race. The Lauder family, heirs to the Estee Lauder Cosmetics fortune, donated over $2.6 million. Ronald Lauder gave $1 million, while his nephew William contributed another $1 million. Joe Carroll Lauder added $500,000. Airbnb co-founder Joe Gebbia donated $3 million to multiple anti-Mamdani groups. Casino mogul Steve Wynn sent $500,000 from Las Vegas. Even Alice Walton, the world's richest woman, contributed $200,000 from Arkansas. Other major donors included Barry Diller with $500,000, Daniel Loeb with $775,000, and the Tisch family with $1.2 million. At least 26 billionaires poured more than $40 million into efforts to block Mamdani's rise. They funded super PACs with names like Fix the City, Defend NYC, and Anyone But Mamdani. These groups spent millions on attack ads calling Mamdani a communist and warning he'd drive businesses out of New York. But Mamdani embraced the fight. At an October rally, he told supporters, "Billionaires like Bill Ackman and Ronald Lauder have poured millions into this race because they say we pose an existential threat." They are right. His platform included rent freezes, free buses, free childcare, and government-run grocery stores. He proposed paying for it with a 2% tax on New Yorkers earning over $1 million annually. He's also said publicly that billionaires shouldn't exist. The billionaire opposition actually energized Mamdani's base. Young voters backed him by 43 points over Cuomo. Even President Trump jumped in, endorsing Cuomo the night before the election and threatening to withhold federal funds if Mamdani won. That endorsement may have backfired too, motivating some voters to support Mamdani. But here's the thing: 2 billionaires stood by him. According to Forbes, Elizabeth Simons and Tom Preston Werner donated to groups supporting him. Simons, the daughter of the late hedge fund billionaire Jim Simons, contributed $250,000 in August to New Yorkers for Lower Costs, the main independent group backing Mamdani's campaign. Preston Werner, co-founder of the GitHub coding platform and a California-based venture capitalist, donated $20,000 to the same group in April. After his victory, Bill Ackman posted congratulations on social media, offering to help the new mayor. The billionaire class that spent millions to stop Mamdani now faces a mayor who's promised to hold them accountable. Mamdani will become New York's first Muslim mayor, its first of South Asian heritage, and its youngest in over a century when he takes office in January. His victory is being watched nationally as a test of progressive politics in America's largest city. For more news...
The threat by Trump to deny New York funding is a bit of a lame one when you consider that New York contributes more to the federal government than the federal government gives to New York. Some in the Mamdani camp have now suggested that he hold some of that money back. I don't think that's going to happen. No, nor do I believe that Mamdani is the new Obama. Because politics in the US swings, like everywhere else in the world, swings from right to left. And eventually, it'll pivot again towards equilibrium. I hope so anyway. And in that case, Democrats will probably find a middle-of-the-road, middle-class candidate to run for president in 2028, probably against Trump. It wouldn't surprise me.